Hello and welcome back to 3D-PK. I'm still James and here we are on part 2 of our Space Marine Mega Print. So what have I done so far? Well, I finished the completed print model. I then started on cleaning up the model itself and then printed off and added some more details to the base just to give it a bit more of a feel. So let's take a look at that now and see where we are. Okay, so here is my sort of nearly prepped model. As you can see, since the last video I've added the sword, which is a sort of classic chain sword for the Space Marine warriors, and I've also added a little pile of skulls for the chainsaw to sit in nicely. Now I did run into a few problems once I printed this. One of the problems was actually around the ankle areas. For reasons unknown, the infill was quite weak, and unfortunately when I was cleaning it up I accidentally snapped the feet. So I've had to sort of have a bit of a workaround and try to secure them back on the base. Hopefully once I've applied some primer to this, hopefully we can disguise some of this and then I can clean it up again just to smooth it down. One of the problems I ran into as well was actually on the arms. Somehow the bed slipped, I can only describe it as, and subsequently the arms printed slightly further afield. It did it on both sides. Although it didn't affect the base too much, you can see around the waist there is a bit there where it also stepped out. So the entire upper body is slightly shifted. But I've managed to clean most of it down, and hopefully I've managed to clean some of it up, and hopefully once I put some primer on it, which we'll be doing today, hopefully you won't see too much of it. In terms of the actual print itself though, I was quite happy overall with it. I think it's cleaned up pretty well. We've still got quite a bit of the detail in there, and hopefully a bit of primer will just bring that detail out. So let's get on and start priming this up. Okay, here we are ready to start priming my Space Marine. Here is my handcrafted spray booth. I've also got my primer to hand. Now one thing I will fully recommend is one of these. These are little handles that clip to the top of the aerosol can, and it makes spraying things just that little bit easier, a bit more control and less likely to get fatigue in one's fingers. So let's apply some paint. Now as you can see, I actually kept the sword and the skulls separate until I'd actually got it all painted. I'm keeping quite far back when I do this as well. I want to apply the paint nice and evenly and quite thinly. I don't want to start losing too much details in the model by overspraying. Let's take this round to the side a bit. You can see, nice and slowly, a little bit of application at a time. Make sure I get a nice bit of coverage without going overboard with the spray. And I can obviously apply more and more to it as we go along. And actually sometimes with the primer, it actually brings out some of the imperfections that you might go back and then, you know, sand down, file down and whatever. But this will certainly give us a better idea of what we're looking at. think that's enough for the first sort of couple of layers. Let's get a bit close and let's see what we've got. Now once the first layer is dried, it'll give me a chance to then go in and actually really sort of build up the primer to give it a nice clean finish, and then go back in with the file and then get rid of some more of those imperfections. But certainly the primer certainly brought out some of the quality of the print, but unfortunately it's also brought out some of the anomalies of the print as well. Let's just turn this around. I mean, I was hoping to get a sort of more battle-hardened marine anyway, and I think this should turn out pretty well. So let's get some more paint on and let's see what it looks like in a couple of hours. Okay, so we've now applied 3 layers of this primer to this model. It's looking better, but it has definitely brought out quite a lot of imperfections that we will need to address with a good old-fashioned file later on. I think I'm going to put a few more coats on it still and give it a good clean up again, and hopefully by the time we've done all that and maybe putting on a couple more layers, we're going to be in a good place with the model. So we'll leave it at that for tonight, and on the next episode we will continue to add some more primer, give it a good clean up, and then maybe start looking at applying some actual colour. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.